What advice would I offer someone who's wanting to get into a career of art? If you can, don't.
My name is Tony Sobota, and I'm an artist in Nashville, Tennessee.
Advice on starting a career in art, I would say, especially just advice to the young who are wanting to start out in art. So you have everything going for you. You have the motivation, the passion. You just don't have the experience necessarily. So I would recommend, number one, just do something. Focus on one thing. So if it's going to be portraits, if it's going to be caricatures, if you're going to focus on graphic design, I would say take 4 to 5 years and just focus on that as a livelihood to sustain you. If you want to bag groceries, if you want, whatever it is that you need to sustain yourself, just pick that thing and say, okay, I'm going to focus on painting in my free time, whatever it is. And I would just say, just focus in the first part, so that you at least have a skill, you at least have some sort of livelihood. And then beyond that, you can question, okay, well, what's the art that I'm really passionate about? What's the art that I really want to do with all my head, heart, and hands? And then once you have that baseline livelihood established, it allows you to do that. So with me, I did caricatures and developed that into a career. That allowed me to study painting on my own, and eventually the paintings started to take off. And now, in the pandemic, painting has been my primary career this year, primary livelihood. So it's important to diversify at some point and be able to pursue the things that you want to pursue.
So if nothing else, the art of caricature helps us, I think, to get a different perspective on ourselves and not take ourselves so seriously, right? We're a culture and a world that's just obsessed with ourselves. And so if we never get any input into that, we just get more obsessed. So I think caricature just provides that other perspective, an alternative perspective of yourself that just helps you to laugh and not take yourself so seriously. And I think that's the value it adds to society.
So I'm really slow. I seem to develop really slowly in everything I do, because I'm pretty somewhat indecisive. And so I started out as a caricaturist at a theme park, and then I finished grad school in counseling. I finished my undergrad in counseling. I spent a year overseas teaching English. Then I went to grad school in counseling, dropped out of that to pursue art full time. So I did murals and faux finishing. Then I worked at Starbucks, and I worked for a plaster company. I worked at a preschool for a little bit. So I did lots of different things to kind of like piece things together. But then I realized if I could do caricatures at fairs and festivals, I could make enough to where I could work half the year, and I could spend the other half of the year developing as a painter. So that's what I did. Did caricatures half the year, and then painting the other half of the year. And that I really continue some form of that today. Before the pandemic, it was, I would do a caricature festival one weekend and then spend the rest of the month on studio work and painting. And so that's allowed me to do, now I do like book covers. I've started to do more speaking engagements. I've done, I've got a print release this year. I've done lots of different things, but it's mainly still that foundation of I still have retail caricature going, and the fine art painting as well. when I have a customer sit for me, ideally, I just take that first 2 to 5 seconds to just get an impression of them. And, you don't have to like just stop and stare at them, but just be aware of what their vibe is. Are they quiet? Are they loud? Are they colorful? Are they monochromatic? Are they, round or square? And just those first impressions, and just to be conscious of that right at the beginning, and what you're going to exaggerate, what you're going to push, I think is really important. And then as I go into the sketch, if the center of the face is really key, then I'll start in the middle, start with the nose or mouth or eyes. But face shape is also really important. So there are a lot of times I'll start with sort of the outside of the face. And I like to do just a really quick, it's not even a pre-sketch, but just a really quick, like 5-second, 10-second, just little gesture to kind of set my mind and go into it. And then it's just a matter of kind of working through the sketch, making them chuckle, getting to know them more, and as that moment unfolds, just kind of trying to include as much as you can. So I think you find your style, something that's just you and unique for you, by copying and by trial and error. So you're going to be around a lot of artists. Most of them will be better than you. And it's important to pick up on, what are they doing? Is their line quality smooth? Is it rigid? Do you like that? Or is their coloring great? Picking up all these little things from other artists, and then doing master copies of caricatures you like. Manny, when I first met Manny, he had a book of caricature that he just loved, and he was studying all those. And I think that's a great example of just, what do you like? And then slowly incorporate that into your sketch. And the trial and error, the trial is more fun than the error, right? You're gonna have bloopers, you're gonna have awkward sketches. So being able to, know when is appropriate to try things, and when it's more appropriate to, if you've got a line like, hey, I gotta speed sketch these out or whatever, doing that, but also having that experimentation time is really important. So I think the question of authenticity is important. Artist integrity, maybe. Do you cater to the customer, or is it just a matter of, I'm going to do whatever I want? I know some artists have that philosophy that I'm the artist, I'm going to do whatever I want. And in the retail environment, of course, that doesn't always work out. They're coming to you for a product. They expect a certain thing, whether that's goofy or whether that's just kind of cute and cartoony. And it's important to, my philosophy is, it's important to kind of gauge where they are and adjust your, what might be authentic for you. And so I think there's a range of authenticity. There's, the same car can go 5 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour. So it's just a matter of, adjusting that. But I do think it's important to be as authentic as possible with the customer, and to say, hey, I've got a range of stuff that I can do. Are you looking for something crazy? You want me to go all out? Or, is this your first caricature and you kind of want to tone it down or whatever, just to kind of gauge where they're at. I would warn you that you're going to be bored. You're gonna come across some point in your career where it's just gonna be boring. And at that point, I would say, hold on, it's about to get exciting. When you're bored, that means you're about to grow. And, if you reach that block, a lot of people just kind of stop out or drop out. But that means also that you're about to do something new. So I would also say that financially it doesn't always work out. So you don't have to do art full time to be an artist. So if you have to support yourself another way, when I was first starting out, I worked at Starbucks alongside caricatures, and I did lots of different things, and I think that's okay. Just up to your expectations. But I would say it's going to be hard. There are times that are going to be hard, but that's when it's important to think about fun and just the importance of having fun and doing something different to change it up.
Top 2 things that you need to master a craft, I think, are 1, commitment. You have to commit, and it sounds basic, but I've been doing caricatures for 20 years. I would have been a lot better faster if I would have committed instead of sort of wander around. I think I could have been good within 5 years and maybe great within 10. But I think you have to commit. But the second thing is even more important, is you've got to have fun. It's not going to be sustainable if you're not having a good time. So really making sure that you do the art that you're passionate about while you're doing the art that's making your living is key. My name is Tony Sobota, and I'm an artist in Nashville, Tennessee. You can follow my Instagram account at Tony Sobota, TonySobota. Or if you just want to follow my caricature feed, that is Botaface, Botaface. Thanks.